Hi everyone, this is Kate Izydorski. I am presenting my Assessment 1 current ethical topic today for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So before I start, I just wanted to quickly define what sustainability is. I found a really great definition, and it's that sustainability as a definition refers to the respectful use of the environment and its natural resources. It's about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs, thereby supporting long-term ecological balance and biodiversity. So talking about the UN, United Nations, at the conclusion of 2019, they called on world leaders in attendance at the SDG Summit to act, deliver, pledge, enhance and strengthen a set of 17 development goals by 2030. The goals are there to achieve a better and more sustainable future for us all, addressing global challenges that the world is facing, including poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace and justice. So the two goals which I decided to settle on, instead of one I chose two, that I found the most interesting and the most connected to me, I guess, was goal 12, which is ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns, and goal 14, which is life below water. So they're both really incredibly important to me. I try to live my life as responsible as possible as a consumer. I'm not fantastic. I still trip up, but I try and make an effort every single day. And reference to the ocean or life below water. I grew up with a father who owned a diving business. School holidays, I was up north in Perth, in Exmouth. I used to swim with the whale sharks and dolphins and, fish. And for anyone that's been underwater, for anyone that's scuba dived, for anyone, that snorkeled with a massive whale, you'll understand that there is a whole nother element below water. It's this incredible world that you don't realise really is there until you are submerged below it. I always go to the beach, and I always are going to new places, and when I travel I always want to go and see what their environment and ecosystems are like. And for me, I found that in the last few years, waste and plastic and production products in particular, they're strewn everywhere, and it's really quite sad to see it. And I think that as a sustainable development goal, it's incredibly important that you can combine your personal experience with the needs and demands of change. And so, that's why I've chosen these two today. So first of all, I'd like to show you a really quick little video. It's actually a BBC produced and made video that was actually shown at the UN Ocean Conference. But I'll just play it on the next slide.
Our ocean defines our planet. It sustains us and is home to more than half of all life on Earth today. The presence of the ocean touches every living thing, no matter where it lives. The air we breathe and the water we consume are ultimately linked to the seas. The ocean drives our weather and stabilizes our climate. Nowhere is more powerful and unforgiving. Yet more beautiful and endlessly fascinating.
video showing obviously the importance of the ocean to us, and that without the ocean we simply don't exist. And I've done quite a lot of research in this, and it's quite sad to think that that could actually become a reality if we continue the way that we are going. So that's kind of what got me excited about these two goals. As I said, there's overwhelmingly the levels of debris in the ocean are increasing. It's causing major social and environmental impacts. It chokes our marine system and it impacts our biodiversity. There are millions and millions of organisms and hundreds of thousands of species that depend on the ocean as their home. And there's over 3 billion people on Earth who rely on the ocean for livelihoods, for production. So yeah, production and consumption patterns need to change. Otherwise, we're going to irreversibly damage the environment that we live in. So the two goals, as I said, that I've chosen, Goal 12 and Goal 14. Goal 12 is about promoting resource efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, and calling for urgent action on extraction of resources. That's highlighted in their goals 12.2, which is by 2030 will achieve and sustain management and efficient use of natural resources. Goal 12.5, that by 2030 will substantially reduce the waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling and reusing. And 12.8, that by 2030 will ensure that people everywhere have the relevant information and awareness for sustainable development and lifestyle in harmony with nature. So that's all based off, obviously, consumption and production. In regards to the oceans, Goal 14 provides us targets and management techniques to conserve and sustainably use the oceans. They outlined in 14.1 that by 2025 we need to prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, particularly land-based, which includes marine debris and nutrient pollution. So they're the two that I've chosen. I then found some really fantastic case studies or two examples of design precedents that are attempting to solve in some degree the problem that we are currently experiencing with overconsumption of production and interconnected with the ocean. So my main thing is that, you know, we should be, or I would like to think that most of us are ethical consumers in this day and age. As ethical consumers, we should be able to recognise that ethical and sustainable disposable of products is just as important as ethical consumption. So when looking at the broader community, there are so many different makers and builders and designers and people who have identified the need for waste materials to be repurposed or fashioned into new products so that we don't make new virgin products that are then going to pollute the planet over and over. So the two that I found are two very unique, projects which are both from third world countries, and I've actually been really surprised by that most of the research I've done in finding stuff about sustainability is coming from third world countries and not from first world. Australia, we need to pick up our game. Video showing obviously. So the first one is from Kenya, and I will show you this in a second, if it will work.
We are destroying our own life. Everywhere you see plastic. When you go fishing, you see plastic. When you're pulling your nets, you catch more plastic than fish. I had a dream to do something to make people understand the importance of the environment. We are making a beautiful plastic dhow, completely made of pure recycled plastic, from the keel to everything. I think it's the first in this world.
Ali designs every piece of the boat. He will bring us the shape, and we're able to build a mold for it. We don't burn plastic, we melt. We compress it and let it cool. That's basically the process.
It looks like it's wood, but it's not a wood. It's pure plastic. It's not perfect, we know it. It cracks, it bends, it breaks. But it lasts forever.
Construction products create a good end use of plastic. In Kenya, we say it will last the life of your shamba, the life of your land.
The first communication of human lives was through the sea. There was no plane, it was only Tao. The Tao is communication.
Alice Kanda's work is just the beginning of big.
So that was the first, and the second one, which I would like to discuss, is one that was based off a company called Conceptos Plásticos out of Colombia. Again, it's from a third world country. They have a lot of problems in Colombia. Waste is just one of them. I've done some research, and in particular in the one place that you're about to be introduced to of where this company has come from, they have around 600 tons of plastic are thrown away daily. 600 tons daily, that is, not yearly, daily. So this one company is making a big change in terms of producing a construction product which can be used in the built environment. It's reusing or repurposing waste. So I'll show you this quickly. Go from there.
Mi nombre es Oscar Méndez y soy el gerente de negocios estratégicos de Conceptos Plásticos.
Mi nombre es Isabel Cristina Gámez y soy la CEO de la compañía. Conceptos Plásticos es la unión de dos pasiones. Una de las pasiones es por el medio ambiente y la otra es por crear productos que lleguen y que beneficien a comunidades vulnerables. Y de ahí salió la idea de crear viviendas a partir de plástico reciclado.
So this particular company, I've read into and researched, and they've done quite a lot. At the moment, I think they've built up to, I think it was 40 homes from these particular bricks that are made from plastic. The whole process of how it works is that the plastic is taken and from the site that it's accumulated, it's melted down and poured into molds by a process known as extrusion. Basically, because there's no transfer between sites, they do it on site where the plastic is, sorry, apologies. Basically what happens is the water and energy costs are reduced along with CO2 emissions being reduced. So these particular houses, because of the material that they're made of, they can last for hundreds of years, longer than any of us will be left on this earth. So it's a way of, obviously, for them helping the environment, and like what they said, also helping vulnerable communities in their area. It's cheap for them to do it. They're saving energy and everything. So they were the two precedents that I found that I really loved and enjoyed. And yeah, basically that's the Sustainable Development Goals 12 and 14, and they were the ones that I was after. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.